Welcome to Google Ads Unleashed, the podcast that helps you harness the power of Google Ads to increase sales for your online business. In an ever-changing Google Ads landscape, we uncover the latest strategies, techniques, and best practices for creating effective ad campaigns that deliver real results. And now your host, Jeremy Young.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Google Ads Unleashed. I hope you're doing well. This is my last episode now before I'm off on holiday for a week, so you might be listening to this whilst I'm out in Georgia, the Russian one, not the American one, sipping on some well-deserved drinks and eating some lovely Georgian food. So I'm hoping that you'll like this one because I'm going to be talking about something that's relatively straightforward, but a lot of people get just too sort of caught up in this, I'd like to say. Because in the end, Google Ads is a really complex interface and there are tons of metrics and tons of settings and columns that you can track. And to a lot of people, it can be super, super confusing. What do I focus on? What is important to me? What sort of metrics should I look at in order to make certain changes? And what I always like to reply to that is keep it simple, stupid, KIS, right? I'm not calling anyone stupid. That's just a saying, right? So today I want to just talk about a couple of the metrics that we look at even on an agency level and which are more than sufficient for you to sort of manage your accounts and generate really good results. I'm going to do another episode at a later point about some advanced metrics and some really cool stuff that you can do in order to analyze your data and to get a little bit more bang for your buck out of your Google Ads. But generally speaking, the ones I'm going to go through today are all the ones which you will need to run successful ads. Also, I'm going to be talking a little bit about, generally speaking, sort of what they're good for and what you can sort of read out of the data and the changes in them, to react to the market or some other changes if your metrics change. Okay, and I am going to just read out all of the metrics now that on a basic level we track as an agency. In every single account, it's the exact same. And that is clicks, cost, impressions, click-through rate, average cost per click, conversions, so that'd be purchases, cost per conversion, conversion rate, conversion value divided by cost, that's your return on ad spend, your ROAS, search impression share, and click share. And that is literally it. That's all we look at. In marketing, we sort of talk very often about two types of or groups of metric that we want to track, right? And that is soft metrics and hard metrics. In this case, we have a quite, I'd say, individual dichotomy, which for us, obviously, to other people, certain metrics are obviously much more important and hard and crucial to their success. But basically, we really divide between the hard metrics, which for us would be cost, CPC, conversions, cost per conversion, conversion rate and conversion value and ROAS. And the other ones such as clicks, impressions, click-through rate, search impression share and click share are more soft metrics, which we obviously use to sort of, judge our success, but which are not crucial to, or which we judge also to understand what levers we need to pull, but which are not really crucial to, the success or to us keeping clients happy, right? So, but I'm going to be starting first with the soft metrics, right, which you will want to be tracking, and that's clicks, impressions, click-through rate, and search impression share and click share. So clicks is an obvious one. Why we don't really count that as a hard metric within sort of our agency is because clicks are quite frankly irrelevant, right? So it's obviously nice if you drive a lot of traffic, but driving a lot of traffic means nothing, right? That's if the traffic doesn't convert, then obviously it's nonsense. For us, clicks is more of a measurement of understanding if a campaign delivers. It also is quite important for us to understand if a product, let's say, has received quite many clicks, but is not converting, then we could see that it's maybe quite popular, but we need to understand why it then doesn't sell, etc., etc. In the end, clicks are sort of not a metric which is really important for us to understand whether a product is doing well or whether a campaign is doing well. Then the next one would be impressions. So that's the number of times an ad has been seen. Naturally, this is an important metric to a little bit sort of understand our reach of campaigns. For certain campaign types, such as YouTube, etc., it's naturally a much more important sort of thing to understand. But for us, really, impressions again, same as clicks, and as a result, click-through rate are not really any sort of metrics where we really understand whether, the cold hard truth, whether we're making money for our clients or not. One that is interesting though is click-through rate. So click-through rate sort of gives us a basic understanding of, if an ad performs well, if a product is performing well because a lot of people click on it and really enjoy something about it. Sometimes this gives us an indication, for instance, of what we should do with product listings in order to make them more attractive. If, for instance, a certain group of products has a lot better click-through rate, then we can understand why, for instance, the composition of the little product photo in the shopping ads, what that could do to boost that, and we can then make sort of similar suggestions to clients to change all of their product photos to that. It gives us an understanding of a little bit of our competition. If new competitors on the market and click-through rate drops, you can sort of understand whether it goes up or down. It's an indicator of where you need to look, so to speak, right? And what you need to do once you actually look at it. Another soft metric that we look at is search impression share. So search impression share is defined as the impressions that you received on the search network divided by the estimated number of impressions you were eligible to receive. That means that more or less out of 10 times where our ad could have shown, how often has our ad shown? So if the search impression share is 20%, then that means we've got 20% of the market share with our visibility, right? This only shows for search ads, by the way, so it's not a metric that's important for PMAX, but for us this is important. For instance, if we have actually a successful search ad, which does happen now and again, how much we could sort of raise spend still to generate more search impression share and more impression share of the market. But it's also important for us, for brand campaigns to sort of see how much we can increase the budgets more to cover the entire market with branded searches. Then a last metric that we look at as well is click share, similar a little bit to click-through rate and impressions. It's a metric that sort of tells us a little bit about how we stand in the auction, and click share is the metric that describes the number of clicks that you receive divided by the estimated maximum number of clicks that your ad could have received, and basically it sort of is an indicator of how popular our ad is compared to other ads in the same network at the same time. So naturally, if it's high, that means that ad is relatively attractive and gets most of the clicks. If it's sort of mid-range, then it sort of indicates that there's a little bit of work to do. So these are the soft metrics. They're basically for us, right? And you will be, as an experienced marketer, whether it's Meta, whether it's TikTok, or even as an inexperienced marketer, just using logic, you can sort of, use these soft metrics to understand changes in the market, or to understand if there's a problem with your campaign. If the impressions drop, right, then naturally something's not delivering or it's not working anymore. If you have a really low click-through rate, then it could tell you that your ads are crap, right? That's something you need to work on. If you have a really low search impression share, it means that you could probably pop a little bit more ad spend behind that campaign, given it's working well. If you have a low click share, work on your ads, right? Sort of make the ads a little bit more attractive. If you receive a lot of clicks, but no conversions, then maybe something wrong with your conversion tracking, or your conversion rate's poor, etc., etc. So that's sort of the stuff that we look at. But now to the important metrics, that's cost. Naturally, we have to always keep budgets with our clients, so we have very often strict budgets. So we just have to track costs to make sure everything works. And now the probably most exciting metric for us, that's average cost per click. One of the most exciting ones anyway, it is for me. And average cost per click, as the name implies, tells you the average cost that it took for someone to click onto your ad and go onto your website. And for us, the average CPC is an indicator of many things, right? So for instance, is the quality score of this account good? So, if the quality score is poor, then naturally your CPCs will rise. If the CPC doubles overnight, what could that be? It could be because a competitor's come into the market, right, and is stealing a lot of clicks and making the auction very expensive. Also, it's an indicator and a forecast of whether a campaign will work or not, right? If you historically know roughly what the conversion rate was, and you know that what the CPCs are of that account, then you can actually calculate what sort of bid strategy you need to or what sort of whether the campaign's going to work or not. If you have a CPC of £1, let's say, and you have a traditionally conversion rate of 1%, that means it takes £100 in spend to generate one sale. So you can make forecasts about whether a campaign will work or not, etc., etc. So first, that's arguably the most exciting one, and that's obviously the metric that we want to get down as much as possible as well. It also helps us sort of understand what type of bid strategies we need to use in order to get the CPC down, or also it allows us to understand whether we have a little bit room to spend and get more aggressive. So it's a really exciting metric, one we look at all the time, and which is really important for the health of the account. Then the next one's conversions. So in e-commerce, we in 99.9% of times just track purchases. Naturally, we want as many as possible, so that's something that we track all the time. The cost per conversion, so that can be really a super, super important metric. For arguably, ROAS is more important for us and something that we sort of look at in more depth. But we have a lot of clients who have subscription models, for instance, where we don't actually go for any sort of initial return on ad spend, but rather go for a lifetime value of the customer. So where CPA targets are much more easy to implement rather than ROAS targets. Example, we at the moment look after a client that sells dog food, and it's a subscription model dog food, and we've realized that if we just look at ROAS and are myopic in our view, then we can't scale the account. Whereas if we actually allow for a CPA of about £100, then we can actually scale a lot more and generate a lot more visibility and a lot more conversions. Of course, more expensive conversions, but we also know that the average order value of, or the average lifetime value of existing customers is £400. So there's like lots and lots of room and scope to push more. So naturally, this is a really important metric, and is also a bit of an account health indicator. If the CPA goes up, we actually understand if, what influence this has on a sort of overall business metrics. It also helps us understand if there's a competitor in the market, etc., etc. Then conversion rate, naturally, what converts well. Again, very intrinsically linked with what I said before with CPC. It gives us a good indicator of whether a campaign or product works well. Gives us an indicator of, sometimes whether competitors in the market, etc., etc., etc. Sorry about this. I just had WhatsApp in the background here. And then the last two I want to talk about is your conversion value. Naturally, that is, if you programmed everything correctly in your conversion tracking, is just the gross revenue that you're tracking with your Google Ads. Mega important to understand what campaigns make you actually quantifiably the most money, not only in terms of return on ad spend, but actually making the most money. And the last one is conversion value divided by cost. That's your ROAS, which is for us the absolute key metric to success. We use this metric to understand whether we need to maybe pull the budget back a little bit on an account, right? Like if the ROAS is under target, then we can sort of pull the budget back a bit, which forces Google Ads on focusing on more profitable search terms. As a result, your return on ad spend increases. It helps us understand when to cut products, right? So, obviously cost, CPC and CPA help with that as well. But your ROAS, if we have 5 sales on a product variant and it's performed under ROAS target of all time, we just simply cut the products. It helps us to understand whether we should be cutting campaigns as well. It also helps us understand where we should maybe advise clients to make more products, right? If we see really good return in some areas, then that's sort of the metric to look at. It also helps us to understand whether we should change or adapt our bidding strategies. So sometimes if the ROAS target is, if the ROAS is like quite low and we want more profit, then we can sort of raise ROAS targets in order to generate better profit. Maybe not more volume, but just to get profitable sales. So, I mean, I could go on for hours, but that's sort of the gist of it. Just to repeat, all the metrics you ever need to look at are clicks, cost, impressions, click-through rate, CPC, conversions, cost per conversion, conversion rate, conversion value divided by cost, search impression share, and click share. With that, you're already, as a beginner, intermediate, and even advanced Google Ads media buyer, have all the tools that you need in your skill set, and you can judge every campaign with that. I will do another session at some point, another episode about advanced metrics, which you can use. But until then, if you have any questions about the podcast, if you have any questions about Google Ads, if you need any help with your campaigns, don't hesitate to message us. Just go to our Instagram or our Facebook and send us a message, or send me an email at jeremy@younganddigital.marketing, and I'm very happy to respond. Until then, I'm going to sip on a few lovely Georgian wines until I'm back. Have a good one all, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao for now.
Thank you for listening to Google Ads Unleashed. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. If you found value in today's podcast, please share it with others and leave a rating and a review. For more information or to connect with Jeremy, check him out online at www.younganddigital.marketing. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.